YouTube, how's it going? The Goat House is back with a whole lot of team by team 7 round NFL mock drafts submitted by you guys out there. If you follow us on Twitter, if you caught the live stream the other day, you were aware that you can send in your favorite team's 7 round mock and for this video, and I got a lot more than I thought, so this ended up being pretty chaotic. Some of you, I got your Twitter or Instagram handles I can put in there. People that had their names linked to their email, I did not include those because I don't think everybody wanted their name included. So if I had to do one, I had to do all. So this is part one of this video. There's so much that there's going to be a part two. So a lot of 7 round mocks to go through. Some teams didn't have one submitted, so I went ahead and made a 7 round mock for those teams myself. So yeah, this is madness. 7 round mock draft madness, basically, and we're gonna break it down here in just a second. We're gonna be live April 23rd, day one of the NFL draft. So join us right here on YouTube for that. We have 2 channels. Please subscribe to both, and that Twitter's a must follow. If you follow the Twitter, you knew about this. There's all kinds of polls. Voting for things even throughout the draft, after the draft, grades. That's a must follow on Twitter. Link in the description and comments for that. Let's start with the Bengals. I received 2 fans mock drafts for the Bengals. Again, if you emailed me, there's a lot of names linked to emails. I think kind of by default, and I didn't want to include names. I know some people probably did, some people probably didn't want me to, but if you sent me your Twitter or Instagram, I did include it. So I apologize if anybody out there, I missed your mock draft because I got so many, or if some links didn't work, or some graphics weren't downloading for me. So got mostly everybody's though. So apologize ahead of time if anybody's disappointed with me on that. I'm really sorry. But so we got one on the left here, made by a Bengals fan, Joe Burrow. In the first round, T. Higgins at 42. Okay, so Joe Burrow in both of them. Yeah, that'd be correct. And then after that, there's no right or wrong. We're just going to see what I think of him here. T. Higgins, I would like at 42 overall. Yeah, another A.J. Green type of receiver there. So and they only got him on the franchise tag, so that'd be big time. Get a little younger at the same spot there. Makes sense. Akeem Davis-Gaither, who I would like at outside linebacker. Him and Jermaine Pratt for the future could be fun there. Ben Barch, the small school offensive tackle from St. John's, Minnesota at 107, which I think he's going to be sneaky good. And then you go offense line again with Logan Stenberg. So the route they took here was, because the Bengals do need more offense line help. They need, for Joe Burrow, they need it. So in this route, they waited a little bit, which is realistic, but you still get some, what I think could be plug-and-play starters. You could get better starters, but for the Bengals here. And then Geno Stone, who I like a lot, down at 139. I don't know if they go safety, maybe too good to pass at that point, but they do have Jesse Bates and Von Bell. I think it's a pretty good duo. So I'd say, I would like to pick for Geno Stone at 139, but I think they would pass out of safety. And Anthony Jennings, who does sound like he's sliding, even though he was a Bama pass rusher. Just a pass deflector mainly. It seems like people wish he had a little more production getting after the quarterback. But this draft, I like this draft. I think they would pass on the safety. They may take an offensive lineman earlier, but I do think it's a realistic draft comparing it to the other one. Joe Burrow, Cesar Ruiz, who I think will go late first, but it's possible he can be there at 33. Willie Gay Jr., another one, possible. I think he's gone a little earlier, but that would be a great addition there. Jack Driscoll, which would be, I think, the starting right tackle if they grabbed him. Devin Duvernay, who would play in the slot. They like Tyler Boyd in the slot, but kind of getting that other alternative, kind of the speedy guy here. Then Davion Taylor, so another athletic linebacker who also can play in the slot corner, that is. And then Thaddeus Moss, I don't think will be there at 180, but that'd be a big-time pick. Carter Coughlin, the pass rusher from Minnesota, at 215. So, I think realistic, maybe a couple guys that aren't going to be there at those picks. Willie Gay Jr., Jack Driscoll, Thaddeus Moss. Definitely Moss will not be there at 180 in my opinion. Or not Jack Driscoll. Jack Driscoll should be there. Cesar Ruiz was the one that it's really close to the first round because it's the first pick in the second round, but I still think he goes first. Both really good drafts here. I'd say the one on the left there is a little more realistic. The right's got some big-time players, big-time fits, though. And then we move on to the Redskins, which I have people that made these mock drafts here. I have their Twitters, and you have Sittle, I don't know what it is, and Doily. Those are their Twitter handles. That's who made it. So If you want to go give them a follow, or maybe you don't like the mocks. Maybe you're a Redskins fan. Maybe you got a bone to pick with them. I don't, whatever you're feeling. But we got Chase Young for both of them. Oh, look at that. We got Laviska Shenault for both of them, too. That's interesting. So, two different people, two different mocks. They both have the same first two picks there. Shenault drops to the third round. Here's the thing, though. I don't think he's going to be there at 66 overall. I do not think Chenault's going to be there. But that is interesting that both of them had it. Ben Barch, we just talked about Ben Barch with the Bengals mock, 108. Hunter Bryant, 108. So you get that receiving threat tight end. So I like both of those. And then comparing 142, Thaddeus Moss versus Kenny Robinson. Maybe a little early for Kenny Robinson. People are kind of getting hyped up on him because he's an XFL guy. So that's pretty interesting. I like him a little later. Moss, possible, but he could be gone, though. I think he could be gone. Geno Stone, we just talked about it. We got a lot of similarities already, even with the last mock. I do like Geno Stone for the Redskins. I think it's a great fit. He's a zone-free safety. I think perfect back there with Landon Collins in Ron Rivera's scheme. Jack Driscoll. I think maybe the Redskins will be targeting more of a left tackle, but I do like Driscoll. Trey Adams. They're at 216. Gets late anyways, but could go undrafted because the injuries in the past and his athletic ability is very lacking. Charlie Heck, the tackle from North Carolina. And then, look at this. They guys kind of went the same route here. And then corners in the last pick as well. I think Jackson will probably be gone, but that'd be a good pick. So that's interesting. A lot of similarities there. I don't know if one's better than the other, honestly. I like both of these. I really like the Geno Stone fit for the Redskins. We'll see if they can get him. He may be gone by 162, but that one really stood out because of that. But the interesting to add Hunter Bryant, kind of add one of those athletic tight ends that can be involved in the receiving game that can help you with, in so many ways there. So really good drafts there for the Redskins. We'll see if Chenault's there at 66. That'll be big time. It was very weird that both of you had the same two first picks there. Moving on, we got some Lions mocks, and you see their Twitter handles there, so they made sure they left me with those, so you guys can go talk to them there. And so we see the one on the left first, Jeff Okudah. The one on the right also has Jeff Okudah, and then the second round picks will be compared to Gross Matos from Penn State versus Ross Blacklock from TCU. Either one I can see. So you want to go the edge route, you want to go the interior defense line route. Two guys that very well could be there early second, but also could go late first. And then we look at Malik Harrison versus Josh Uche. So two potential linebackers, different types of linebackers. And then we got Jordan Elliott. We'll continue on with the one on the left here. I'm all over the place with this. So Okudah, Matos, Harrison, Elliott, Van Jefferson, Tyler Johnson, Tyree Phillips, Jacob Phillips, Lavert Hill. Let's see. So that's a pretty good draft. I don't know if they'll be able to get Van Jefferson there, and Jacob Phillips, I don't know if will last that long, but that's overall a pretty good draft. The Lions get a lot better with this mock here. And then you look at the one on the right, we got Okudah, Blacklock. I still think Blacklock goes first, but he definitely could be there. Uche will not be there, that pick. I don't think. And Pittman at 85. Pittman's getting some buzz too. Bredesen at 109. Keyshawn Vaughn. McTelvin Agim, I don't think will be there at that pick. Stanley, I think, does fit. That would be a guy they can look at. And then Mann, the Texas A&M punter, last. So I think the one on the right, there's a couple that, Uche's probably not going to be there. Agim's probably not going to be there. Blacklock could go in the first. Left, I think they took Harrison a little early. I don't think Malik Harrison's going to go that early. Van Jefferson might not be there. I mean, they both drafts would make the Lions much, much better. And I think, maybe some best case scenarios here for the most part. But I do like the idea of, kind of want unique there on the left, Van Jefferson, Tyler Johnson in a row. Like, people don't expect that, but that would be a pretty good route if they can pull that off. So, like it. We're moving on. We got more Lions. I don't have Twitter handles or anything for these guys. So we see Okudah, Jonathan Taylor to kind of pair with Kerryon Johnson. Wouldn't make sense. Limit both their carries. Julian Okwara at 67. I don't think he'll be there, but you never know because he broke his fibula this year, and he could be sliding down the board because of that. Rashard Lawrence from LSU at 85. Kayvon Wallace, I love Kayvon Wallace. He can play. I don't think he's a safety though. I think he plays slot corner, and he will maybe fill in from some linebacker. There's moments on his tape where he looks like a linebacker. Reminds me of actually as a Clemson player. Reminds me of former Clemson player Jerron Kearse, who the Lions just signed in free agency. So that's kind of their guy right there. That unique utility player right there. So we'll see. We'll see. I don't think they'll be in on Wallace, but I do like Wallace a lot. Kinley from Georgia, Isaiah Hodgins, Yasser Durant, who can play. He played well at tackle. Some believe he's going to be a guard. And Jordan Mack, the linebacker from Virginia, and the one on the right. So all the mocks we've seen, Jeff Okudah. So Lions fans feeling confident about Jeffrey Okudah from Ohio State. So we see Julian Okwara in both. Julian Okwara, I think the second round more likely. Neville Gallimore, I don't think he'll be there though. So both of you have a little bit, maybe a little more hopeful there that those guys will be there than Brandon Ayuk down at 85. I don't think he's going to. And then Robert Hunt at 109. Antonio Gibson at 149. So, this is like a best-case scenario right here for the Lions because I don't think Gallimore's going to be at 67. I don't think Ayuk's going to be at 85. Hunt at 109. Gibson at 149. Those guys will be taken earlier. And that is if this happens for the Lions, I'm not a huge fan of Okudah at third overall. I've kind of stated my opinion on that multiple times. I'm really not a huge fan of that. Not the end of the world. If they got Okwara, Gallimore, Ayuk, Hunt, Gibson, this would be one of the best drafts of all time. Really, it would be. So that would be wild. And you got Weaver, Jennings, and then Brandon Mann. So the punter again pops up. So I think the one on the left's a little more realistic. The one on the right, if they pulled it off, which these are good fits and needs, but if they pulled it off, it'd be probably one of the best draft classes I've ever seen. So we'll see if that happens. The Giants, I didn't get it. Nobody sent me a Giants one. Giants fans at the Goat House, they're slacking. So I made it. So maybe some fans will like that I made it here to see what I think. But I still think Jedrick Wills could be the pick. The tackle from Alabama that they're trying to move back. You never know what Gettleman's going to do. Terrell Lewis would be absolutely fantastic. One of my favorite players in the draft. He should be a first-round pick. The reason he won't be is because he's had injuries in the past. Was healthy this year, though, so that would be the case that he could go first round, but I think he fits the 3-4. This guy's going to be a really good pass rusher in a 3-4. This guy's a first-round talent. So you get two Alabama boys. That is fantastic right there. Jeremy Chin, I think it's a guy Gettleman would look into there. A guy that can play safety with Jabril Peppers, but also can come up and play in the box as well. Maybe play a little linebacker for them. So that it's kind of the upside pick. Giants could be a sneaky good team, this year, but they could go for the upside guys like Jeremy Chin that can help them long term if they want to move him to linebacker. I prefer him at safety though. And then they take that inside linebacker and Jacob Phillips, LSU guy, round 4. Then they need another tackle. Even though you already got one, definitely need another one. Will's probably plug and play right tackle right away. Could move to left when Solder is gone, but you might as well hang on to him for right now. And then Heron could be kind of that guy that fills in at the open spot in the future. Ben Bredesen, the guard from Michigan. So, they're doing their homework on guards, too. They probably need one more in there, maybe for the future, not for right now. Then Gandy Golden, that big body receiver they can use on the outside. I like their receiver unit. Sneaky good. But there's some guy, Sterling Shepard, concussion madness last year was very unfortunate. And then Golden Tate's not going to be around forever, so you get the other Golden here, even though they're not similar whatsoever. But I think they're kind of missing that big body guy on the outside. And then Carter Coughlin, another pass rusher there because there's not too much depth there at the pass rush position. A lot of upside. He had a lot of production, the 3-4 pass rusher from Minnesota. Laurel Murchison from NC State, I think, is a 3-4 end. We know Dave Gettleman feels like he never can have enough of those guys, so he'll be tempted to take one here later on. And then, of course, you have Leonard Williams, who's on the franchise tag, so he can be gone in the future. And Lavert Hill, just another corner for depth there. He's got upside. A few years ago, we felt like Hill could be a future first, second round pick, so that's some upside there. But when making this, noticing the Giants, they have some big needs. Like they need a tackle or two pretty bad, and they need a pass rusher like Terrell Lewis pretty bad, and then they can not pretty bad, but close to being pretty bad. They could use a safety and a linebacker, but even though there's glaring ones like what Wills would fill and what Lewis would fill. They don't have a whole bunch of needs because you start to get down this list. You're taking Bredesen for future guard. You're taking Gandy Golden for just rotation for future receiver. You're taking, some of these guys are just rotation and future. So complimenting the Giants here. They're filling some holes pretty fast, but there are some big ones, and they could screw this up. They could, but I think they're in a pretty good spot. So that's my Giants 7-round mock. We're going on the Dolphins. This one was from, you see the Twitter handle there, Juju Simba, and a bunch of sevens there. He made this the Miami Dolphins 7-round mock, which consists of a lot of picks, of course. Tua Tagovailoa, first pick. That's pick 5, perhaps. I'm starting to think he does fall a little bit. The Dolphins very much could end up with him. I believe the Dolphins still have him higher on their board than Herbert. I'm not buying into they like Herbert better quite yet. Yeah, I still don't know if they take him that early, but they can, and they definitely can end up with him. Josh Jones, tackle from Houston, very likely. So they double up on the offensive lineman with one tackle and then the guard/center, which I like if they take Ruiz, because I think you can plug and play, start at guard right away. They have Karras for center. Karras is no guarantee, though, so you have Ruiz that can play either position. J.K. Dobbins in the second round from Ohio State. Yeah, I'm starting to believe they end up with Dobbins as well, actually. I was kind of feeling Swift most of this process. I'm starting to feel that they end up with Dobbins here in the second round. So I'd actually agree with you there. Ashton Davis would be a phenomenal pick. Guy's got a ton of upside, so put him back there at safety. Lucas Nang. This draft is fantastic so far, and it's actually realistic. It's one of those where it feels like an A-plus draft, but it's actually realistic, because Nang, who I think has first-round skill, actually very well could be there in the third round, because he was injured this year. We didn't see him at the combine. The lack of medical checks pushes him down. So that's possible. Davion Taylor. Now this one I think is a little bit of a reach. Was not a fan of his tape. He's kind of got the freakish athleticism going for him. He doesn't have too much experience at the specifically linebacker position, so he has upside with the right coaching. I just think 4 is a little early. Proche at 5 would be a great pick, though. You get SMU's receiver. Guidry, the corner from Utah. Yeah, I think it's a little early there. I think he's a 7th round to undrafted. I think he's just really fast. And they could potentially can play him in the slot. Bravion Roy, I like that pick there, probably around where he goes. He can play nose tackle inside of Christian Wilkins and Shaq Lawson. Travis Gibson, another pass rusher, who I think has I like this tape. I think he's got some upside. I like this tape from Tulsa, and he could actually find some playing time early in this system. Penasini from Utah, interior defensive lineman. So, yeah, this would be depth. This would be depth behind a guy like Christian Wilkins there. Then Calvin Throckmorton from Oregon. What I like about this pick is, yeah, your offense line starting to come together now, but then with Throckmorton, you get a guy that has experience at pretty much, not even pretty much, every single offense line position throughout his career. So that's fantastic there for a backup. And then Shaheem Carter, who I think is more of a slot guy. Yeah, he's listed as safety, but I think he played in the slot a little more. So I do like him better than Guidry, but you basically got, in my opinion, in my grades, you got them 2 slot corners. So that's the only thing that maybe probably not going to happen. But other than that, very realistic. I like the fits. Maybe Taylor's a little early, but I really like the fits. Looking at those picks, Tua through Nang, and then adding a guy like Proche. That's franchise-changing picks right there. So it is realistic at the same time. So interesting mock, like it. Moving on, we got quite a few Chargers. Nobody left their Twitter handle unless I missed it somehow. It's chaos in my Twitter email. So I apologize if I missed anybody's. And some weren't working. But these are interesting. One on the left, we got Jordan Love, quarterback from Utah State, who was growing on me again. He was in the beginning of this process, then I cooled off a little bit. But remember in the 2018 tape, it's just the talent's there. You can see it from that tape, so he's got a lot of upside. I would actually prefer him over Herbert. And this Chargers fan who made this, I think is in the same boat. It's early for where I have him graded, given he's a quarterback. I kind of like it. It's growing on me. Austin Jackson at 37. It's really sound like he's going to go first. But this is right around where he should go. I do like the fit there. Darnay Holmes at 71. It's going to be interesting to see, because I feel like they have a bunch of slot corners. Holmes played outside, but I view him as a slot corner. Chris Harris has played outside, but I view him as a slot corner that can play at a high level outside as well. And then Desmond King, I view as a slot corner. So they're always looking for more. They're always looking. So I would say I wouldn't rule this out. I just don't know what they're going to do with all these guys. Courtney Davis, who's going to be more of a slot receiver. I think they could be in the market for more of an outside guy. I know they like playing. They like playing. Keenan Allen plays everywhere, but they like playing in the slot. Not ruling out Davis, but I think that if they get a speedster on the outside, that would be ideal in my opinion. McTelvin Agim, who I like a lot, I don't think he'll be there at 151. I think he's going to be gone. Michael Divinity, we didn't get to see much of last year, but a really good football player. Could play. I don't know if he really. Yeah, he could fit their scheme, I suppose. Maybe they can kind of groom him to being, another Melvin Ingram, because I think he's more of that pass rush linebacker. But just to see how they use Ingram and multiple, and I think Nwosu is kind of that guy. They're kind of groomed for that. So I don't know if they take Divinity there. The Darius Anderson for 220. They may take a running back earlier to pair with Eckler, because I don't want Eckler taking the whole load. But Anderson from TCU would be he's a solid pick at 220. The one on the right goes a different route. We got Mekhi Becton from Louisville, so they don't want to reach for a quarterback. This person wants to tackle, so I understand that. T. Higgins at 37, so another Mike Williams, from Clemson there. Plug him on the opposite side of him. That could be pretty fun. Jalen Hurts. Similar to Tyrod Taylor. Let's learn behind Tyrod Taylor a little bit so I can understand that one. Both of you had Darnay Holmes. That's wild, absolutely wild there. This is the cool part about these, because these people don't talk with each other. They're all different people. Darnay Holmes, so you have him a little later. It's a guy I can see them like. Like I said, it doesn't really make sense to gather all these same types of corners, but at the same time, it's a guy they kind of can like. Marcus Bailey from Purdue would probably be an earlier pick, but he's had so many injuries. He's a really good football player, just so many injuries. So he actually could go later in this because of that, but he's a good football player, and I think it would be a good guy for their system there. And then they go Joshua Kelly, running back from UCLA, so you can plug him in there with Eckler. Makes sense. And then Jaron Pinkney from Vanderbilt, so the guy behind Hunter Henry, more of the inline tight end, so that makes sense too. Yeah, so I like that these are two different routes. I love seeing the Jordan Love route. I love seeing the Mekhi Becton route. I thought, both. It's weird because I like I'd say I like the fits better on the right side here, but the left one might be more realistic, honestly. So the Chargers are a tough one, and we actually have more Chargers mocks here. A lot of Chargers fans out there from the Goat House, and the one on the left is kind of in reverse order though, so don't be confused. The Isaiah Simmons. So we saw all different routes on all four mocks. I like this a lot. Isaiah Simmons route I think would be fantastic. If he's there, I'd take him. I'm a big Isaiah Simmons fan. Jonathan Taylor, 37. We'll see if they do that. I don't know. They could. I don't know if that's the guy to pair with Eckler. I guess he could be. He very well could be, but maybe that's definitely possible. I never really thought of that one. Matthew Pert, the offensive tackle from UConn, goes 71. And then Albert O from Missouri. Khalil Davis, Nebraska, Solomon Kinley, Georgia, and then Kelly Bryant from Missouri. I don't know if Bryant gets drafted, but it's kind of an upside guy there. So I do like the fits on this one. I would think they have to take a tackle earlier unless they've somehow filled that left tackle need at some point. The one on the right, they went the tackle route early, and Jalen Reagor would be a fantastic pick. And then there goes Jalen Hurts again. So they're liking the idea of Jalen Hurts behind Tyrod Taylor, perhaps. Logan Wilson from Wyoming, A.J. Dillon to pair with Eckler makes sense. Kevin Dotson. And then Hudson there, the safety. So this, I like that everyone gave us different routes here without even knowing that they were going to do that. So I like that a lot. A lot of good fits here. That one on the right would be a really good draft for them. I don't know if Rager's there. It sounds like he's going to go first, but we will see. Moving on, we got a couple Panthers mocks. Tyler Danner submitted this one. Okuda drops to 7. I do think it's possible. I know everyone's feeling the Lions 3, but how good of a prospect Isaiah Simmons, Derek Brown are. If their thought process is like me, what I watched, I don't know how you can pass on those guys. So Okuda could drop to 7 to the Panthers, and then Winfield. So they're doubling up on the defensive backs. I like Winfield a lot. Really starting to feel he can go late first, but this is very realistic. Willie Gay Jr. could be taking the spot of Luke Kuechly there at 69. I don't know if he's going to be available there, but it would be great. Albert O at 113. Tyler Johnson 148. So yeah, I would like Tyler Johnson actually for that system, very much so. I think that could be Joe Brady's Justin Jefferson, kind of. Not as good as Jefferson, but that can be kind of his slot receiver. because we see DJ Moore kind of plays both, but he's really good at stretching, going down the sideline. That's exactly what Robbie Anderson does. So I would like that, actually. I would like it. Everyone's mocking McDelvin a game. I don't think he's going to be there at 152. This guy's going to go a lot earlier than you guys think. Geno Stone, 184. I think he's going to go earlier than that, too. But he's a good player. Then Neville Clark, the late round pick. The other one's got Okudah, Blacklock, Claypool, Driscoll, DeGuara, Walker, Brooks, and Darrell Williams. So Blacklock could go first, but he very well could be there. I do like Blacklock a lot. That would be a good pick. Chase Claypool would be, I'm a big fan of Claypool as well, so that would be great. Driscoll for right tackle. DeGuara, I like the fit there because, they're not going to value tight ends super high in that scheme. But DeGuara is a guy that can kind of play fullback if you need him to ever as well. So that's a guy they actually may value. Could be that kind of a rotation guy. Michael Walker, I like. He's a sleeper linebacker from Fresno. If they're staying in the 3-4 though, I don't think he fits. I think he's a 4-3 outside. Fresno kind of had him being at 4-3 outside, but a pass rusher at times, kind of like what the Patriots do with their linebackers, kind of like that. So I don't think he fits 3-4 if he stays. Antoine Brooks played safety, played linebacker. He kind of played pass rusher at times though. So they can use him in unique ways as well. It's a unique player. Then Darrell Williams from Mississippi State could be some good depth. Guy can play center or guard. So yeah, good mocks there. Which one's a little more real? I don't know. I don't know which one's a little more realistic. I don't think McTelvin Ageem's there, and I don't think Geno Stone's there from the left. Blacklock, they probably can't get their hands on. I like Claypool. I just don't see them taking him, honestly, and Walker's not really a fit. But other than that, and I'm just realizing, even though I went through it, they both had Jeff Okudah, so they're both hoping Jeff Okudah drops there. So very interesting. Some Cardinals. Tristan Wirfs as a trade back. 15, Tristan Wirfs. Marlon Davis, I would like very much for the 3-4 defense, play 3-4 end. Another Auburn player, Prince Tega Wanagu, which I think I'm a little lower on than everyone else. I just don't know if he's quick enough for today's NFL. And had the injury as well. Anthony Jennings, Shaq Quarterman. Quarterman's weird. I feel like he's a pass rusher in an inside linebacker's body, if that makes any sense at all. That's just what I see when I watch him. So I don't know. They could use him as a depth. Nobody's going to move him to pass rusher, really, but they could use him as that. With Antoine Brooks, we just talked about him. There's a safety that can come up and play in the box quite a bit, more of a linebacker. And Raymond Callis, the speedy running back there. So, yeah, I do like the Wirfs makes sense. Trading back with him would be great. Davidson makes a lot of sense. It's a really good fit. The one on the right, Jeffrey Okudah. Yeah, I don't think Okudah gets by the Panthers. Ashton Davis. Honestly, I think they're set. I think they're set with safety, in my opinion. But they could get better with Davis. Lecky Fotu. Play some nose tackle for the Cardinals. That would make sense. Tyler Biadasz down there makes sense as well. Gandy Golden. And they got their Hakeem Butler could be their Gandy Golden this year. Hopefully he stays healthy. And Javon Hill from Miami. Those are some good picks. I just think some of them they may pass on for that one. Next up, the Jags. This is gonna be a long video, and I split it up into two parts. The Jags. Nobody submitted a Jags mock draft, so I went ahead and made my own Jags 7-round mock draft. Isaiah Simmons, if he's there, which it sounds like it could be, you have to take him. Pair him with Miles Jack, Joe Schobert. I mean, you're looking at possibly the best linebacker unit in football. Trevon Diggs, I'm a big Diggs fan, and we're starting to hear that teams think the media is lower on Diggs than the teams are, and I've been preaching that. So I think Diggs could be the pick here. I think he's the second best corner in the class. This is realistic, and it's an A+ draft right here. Neville Gallimore, second round. It sounds like he's starting to drop a little bit. I think he'd be a great Marcel Darius replacement. Brian Edwards in the third. Get that big body receiver for the outside. You got DJ Chark, the speed receiver for the outside. Get Brian Edwards, the big body guy for the outside. Alex Highsmith could be that replacement for Yannick Ngakoue. A lot of upside there. Big-time sleeper. Not enough people talking about Highsmith. He could potentially go third, really. Devin Duvernay. So now I grab another receiver because I think you got a few receivers that can play, but I think you could get better. To me, Duvernay's you're going to be your best slot. You have the two outsides, Chark and Edwards, and you got Duvernay in the slot. You get a lot better with that. Matt Part in the fourth. I think he's going to be on the bench right now. Robinson could be gone next year. I think Part would be that replacement in a year. Anthony Gordon, because why not? You get Gardner Minshew's. Fellow Washington State quarterback. Gordon may actually have more upside than Gardner Minshew, believe it or not. So that would be a pick. Khalil Davis from Nebraska. Pair him with Gallimore. and you do have Tavin Bryant too, so you're hoping he starts. Josiah DeGuara, I think a tight end they could be interested in, kind of a do-it-all tight end, really good route runner. Josh Kelly, they could take a running back earlier if they trade Fournette, if they successfully trade him, and that would mean they gain another pick so they can take running back earlier, obviously, if that happened. But Kelly would be good. Um, you know, definitely a solid back to actually play, catch the ball to the backfield. And John Reed, kind of the slot corner from Penn State late. So that is my Jaguars 7-round mock draft. Moving on, somebody sent me a Browns one. They're buying in, trading back for Ezra Cleveland. Love to see it. It's a good scenario because we've been hearing a lot about it. Then Jeremy Chin, kind of pair him in there with whether it's Joseph or Sendejo there. So they're definitely in the market for a safety. Malik Harrison, so add another linebackers. They lost a few. Chase Claypool in 97. I don't know if he'll be there. He could be. So I just don't think he will be. But Claypool, that would be good with actually, I really like him with Odell and with Jarvis Landry. Kind of that guy that can, when Landry's in the slot, Claypool is that big body guy on the outside they're lacking. But he also can play in the slot, can slide Landry outside. Odell's going to be, most of the time an outside receiver as well there. Rashard Lawrence from LSU, so depth for them probably at the D tackle position. He could take Ogunjobi's spot. I do like Sheldon Richardson, obviously, though. Dane Jackson from Pittsburgh as sleeper corner. Onwenu from Michigan, he's a sleeper guard. I think teams will realize he's better than the media says. I think he's going to go earlier in 187. And then some pass rush depth, Trevon Hill from Miami. Yeah, I like this draft. It's a realistic draft for sure. Claypool I don't think is there, but I like the fit. I like the fit's pretty realistic here. And then we move on to a couple of Jets mocks. So that I like this. They took two different routes here. One went the offensive line route first. One went receiver. So Andrew Thomas from Georgia, I think is likely. I think they like him. If he's there, I think they take him. Michael Pittman at 48. So why not get Sam Darnold, his receiver there? Then they got Dantzler. Then you got Grenard from Florida, Biotish, Tyler Johnson, Alex Taylor, Jawan Jennings. Just running through this in my head right now as we're talking. I like the fits. I mean, we know they like Thomas. We know they believe he's a fit. If he's there, I think they take him. Pittman makes sense. They don't have that contested catcher, and he's familiar with Sam Darnold. I like Dancer for the Jets. I talked about that before. Grenard would fit. Yeah, I like these fits. I like these fits all over the board. This is a great mock draft for the Jets. Then you got the Henry Ruggs route. If he's available, they take him. Lucas Nang, if he's healthy, this feels like a first-round talent. And you went Cameron Dantzler in the second round as well there. And then KJ Hamler, I don't think he'll be there, but you never know. Robert Hunt definitely won't be there. Bradley Anae would be a great pick. The thing with that is we'll see if Greg Williams wants to kind of go back to his roots and switch back to a 4-3. I see that he could do that. It's kind of up in the air, but I can see that he brought in some players that potentially can. Nye would only fit the 4-3 in my opinion, so that would kind of lean towards that. DJ Dallas is a good sleeper running back, and then Nate Stanley. I'm curious to know what simulator this is. I like the graphics for the simulator over here on the right. Both good drafts. Both you see some similarities, some fits. That left one seems like it's realistic and some really really good fits. So that's an awesome one right there. Then we got some Raiders. We got some people that send me their mocks here, and there's their Twitter handles. Conspiring Lemon on the left, King Woody 8 on the right. So they both went to receive. Look at that. Both receivers with the first pick, just two different ones. And then both Jalen Johnson. Everyone's feeling Jalen Johnson like myself for the Raiders. That pick makes a lot of sense. I think they'll be in on him. But a trade on the one on the left. The trade back option, Justin Jefferson, the stay put option, CeeDee Lamb. I like both options. The one on the left, we go Antoine Winfield to pair with Abram, and then Ross Blacklock. I don't think will be there. I don't think Jordan Brooks will be there at 79 either. He's getting some first-round buzz. Not saying he will go first round, but I just don't think he'll be there at 79. Claypool, 92. It probably goes earlier, but that one's realistic. Cam Akers at 121. Could go a little earlier, too. We know how running backs fall. And then Cephas down there. So the two receivers you bring in, Jefferson, Cephas, like that. The one on the right, Lamb, Johnson, Elliott. Elliott's got a lot of upside. Okwara, never know because of his injury. Could drop there. But should go a little earlier. Same with Eason, should go earlier. I do like Eason. I would love that pick at 91. And Kenny Robinson, Devin Duvernay, who could go a lot earlier. So both of you, maybe taking guys that are probably going to be gone at those picks. But I like the fits, and I like where you're at in the first round for sure. You both got Jalen Johnson. I like that. I think it's very possible. And then you see kind of two different options. Do you want to trade back and still get a big time receiver and gain more picks because we're missing some picks in this draft? Besides the first round, obviously that would be the Justin Jefferson route, and the CD, or do we just take the damn best receiver in this class? So I like both routes here. Moving on, another Raiders one here. We got CeeDee Lamb, Jalen Johnson. Look at that. Brandon Ayuk, I don't think's there, but this would be an A++ draft at this point. Jordan Elliott, adding on to that, A++. Hurts, Akeem Davis-Gaither, Zach Moss. This would be a ridiculous draft. I'd say Ayuk's not going to be there. Other than that, maybe ones that aren't going to be there, but I'd still call them realistic. So really only Ayuk's the one I really don't think is going to be there. But this would be a great draft for the Raiders. Great draft. Then we move on. Some 49ers ones. So we see different ones here. CeeDee Lamb, best receiver in the class. If he's there, I think they take him. Josh Jones at 37. So a little bit of a trade there. So Josh Jones could be the left tackle of the future because they're kind of aging over there. Hunter Bryant to pair with George Kittle. Lamar Jackson. James Prochet would be big time for them, so add another receiver. Raekwon Williams, Tanner Muse, who I think is going to be a move to linebacker. Onwenu from Michigan, I think is going to go a lot earlier than that. But other than that, I do like the mock. And this person goes the Andrew Thomas route, which I like. Yeah, I like that you both went big-time left tackles. Most Niners fans would tell me they're not going to take an offensive lineman that early, but I like that you went this route because I do think they need a left tackle in the future. I also think they need a right guard. Javon Kinlaw's not going to be there, however, at 31. So Thomas might not be there at 13 though. So you're really praying there, but I like it at the same time. Bandy at 156, Isaiah Coulter, Madre Harper, Antonio Gandy Golden, Jared Hilbers. Yeah, that Kinlaw one, that's getting to me. He's not going to be there at 31, but I do like the needs you filled. I like that you went the Andrew Thomas route because kind of just showing that even though he might not be there, just showing that it might be, you believe that it might be more of a need than the rest of the fan base thinks. So I do like that. Then we're moving on to the next one here, another Niners one, Henry Ruggs, Cesar Ruiz. See, they want to fill that right guard spot. Damon Arnett at 83 would be fantastic. I don't think Ruiz is there. I don't think Arnett's there at 83 either. Thaddeus Moss. So we had a trade in this one at the top. It's Thaddeus Moss at 115. Tuska, Jordan Fuller, Lamar Jackson, and Chris Barnes. Yeah, I don't think Ruiz there at 37 or Arnett at 83. I like that you filled the needs though, and that is M. Bellis, 2005 on Twitter there. And then we got a Bucs one. Nobody sent me a Bucs one, so I went ahead and did it. Mekhi Becton could drop a little bit. Could be the fourth tackle off the board. That means he could be there for the Bucs. So I went that route. Love been preaching this the whole offseason. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, running back 1, and he fits perfectly with the Bucs. They take him in the second round. John Hightower, I think, is a perfect receiver 3 if they still need one at this point for them because they have Mike Evans, who's the big body contested catcher on the outside. You have Chris Godwin, who's that Aryan slot receiver, that big body slot receiver. The new school type of slot receiver, not just the shifty fast guys anymore. So you need an outside receiver. You want somebody that's a little different than Mike Evans. You want the speedy sideline receiver. That's exactly what John Hightower is, so I love that pick. John Simpson, some guard options for them. And then you go another receiver, Darnell Mooney, so you get a speedy receiver that can play slot and play outside there. I like Darnell Mooney a lot. Big-time sleeper, and he's rising up boards apparently, so he could go in the 4th. James Lynch, I think could be rotation for DN, could take over as starter pretty soon in their 3-4. And then James Morgan, kind of to learn behind Tom Brady there in the 6th round. So that is my Buccaneers 7-round mock. A couple Broncos. They both went the receiver route. One traded up for Jerry Jeudy. So we got Ruggs, Jalen Johnson. I'll say Jalen Johnson's not going to be there, but there's 9 really good corners, and it's impossible to figure out the order, maybe besides the top 2, Okudah, then Henderson. So really, one of them's got to drop. One of them has to drop here. Who's it going to be? This guy says Jalen Johnson. I'm going to say it's not going to be, but it could be. Jordan Brooks, I don't think, is there. He's getting a lot of buzz, but this is a great draft so far if they do this. Lucas Nang. They could. I think they focus on more of a left tackle, but they could. Jordan Elliott at 95, Zach Moss at 118. I don't know if they go running back that early or at all because they do have Gordon and Lindsey together. And they still have Freeman. Garvin at 178, Tyree Phillips, Anthony McFarland. So you're just feeling running backs for some reason. So you're getting Zach Moss is your Melvin Gordon, and Anthony McFarland is your Phillip Lindsay. So you're replacing them, I guess. I do like both players. I like Anthony McFarland a lot. Benjamin Victor for receiver depth. So yeah, I like some of the fits here. I don't think they go with the two running backs. They may not go one all. Then Jerry Jeudy, Ezra Cleveland. I don't think Cleveland's there, but they would be interested. Troy Dye, Kyle Duggar. You probably could flip those. Flip Duggar and Dye there. Amik Robertson for slot corner. They do like Bryce Callahan, but he has the injury concern. Nick Harris, Anthony McFarland. So that could be the future. I don't know if they go running back, but that could be the future Lindsay replacement, but I don't see why they would need one, really. Carter Coughlin from Minnesota, and Darnell Mooney. Mooney's going to go earlier in that, but I do like Mooney a lot. So, interesting, going with the running backs for those guys. And then we got another one here. A lot of typing in this one. They didn't send me a simulator, but we got Jerry Jeudy, C.J. Henderson. So you got to trade. You got to pick in 10 and 15. See if they can pull that one off. Unlikely. Lloyd Cushenberry, Bryce Hall, Tyler Biotish, Troy Dye, Jack Driscoll. Yeah, this is if they pull this off, this would be a fantastic draft. Fantastic. You got a lot of good impact players. So I don't know if they can pull it off there. Then another Broncos one. Micah and a bunch of numbers is the Twitter handle. Jerry Jeudy, AJ Terrell. It sounds like Terrell's not going to be there. Sounds like he's going to go first round, but like I said a little earlier, there's 9 cornerbacks. Really good. We know the first 2 are going to be off the board. After that, one of them's got to drop. One of them's going to have to drop. It's going to be surprising, but it shouldn't be too surprising. It could be Terrell. I just don't think it is. Matthew Part could be the left tackle now. Future left tackle, T. Higgins at 83. Don't think he's there, but, he could be dropping. Logan Wilson to pair with Johnson there. Alohi Gilman for safety/box player will play on special teams early. Tyree Phillips, Bandy, Daniels, and then John Reed there. So, yeah, I think I don't know if Terrell's going to be there. I don't know if Higgins is going to be there, but I like the Logan Wilson fit. I like the Jerry Jeudy fit, of course. So we'll see. And then we got one more. Nobody sent me a Falcons one. And so I had to make it myself. Javon Kinlaw, maybe they trade up a little bit for him. Now there's rumors they can trade up in the top 5. They're going top 5. I'm starting to think Isaiah Simmons. Some people think Okudah. I don't know if you trade up that much for a corner. They put, effort in corners throughout the years, and it just hasn't really paid off for them. I think it's got to be Simmons. But if they sit put, I think Kinlaw can be there. I think he fits what they're trying to do with their defense now, kind of playing on the line there. Maybe in front of Dante Fowler, because Fowler can play off the ball a little bit, even though he's an edge rusher. Stand up, I should say. But then Damon Arnett, which is kind of best case scenario, I think he could sneak in the first round, probably go second. That would be perfect for them. So don't trade up the house for Okudah in the first. Just get Arnett in the second. Trade up a little bit for Arnett. There's not that much of a difference in the two. So that's why I wouldn't really agree with trading up for Okudah for many reasons, really. Jonathan Grenard, I think, is a really good fit opposite Dante Fowler. I like that fit a lot. So I would look out for that one. I would prefer 4th round, but I think they would have to. Maybe they trade back a little bit with that 3rd round pick. So I just like the fit. Logan Wilson I had here. Pair him with Deion Jones. Terrell Burgess I think could be that guy that can play, help you at safety because you have the injuries there, but he can play in a slot at a pretty high level too. So I think it kind of 2-for-1 special there. And then Dalton Keene to kind of pair with Hurst there. Dalton Keene's a sleeper tight end from Virginia Tech. So I like these fits a lot. I like these fits. I'd prefer them to go a route like this. Not a whole bunch of picks, though, so that's the tough part. But, yeah, finally, this is part 1. There's going to be a part 2. Can't guarantee at the time of recording this when that's going to be. Hopefully soon. The draft's coming up. But I got a ton of these mock drafts sent to me, so pretty chaotic with all the, through Twitter and, the email. So I apologize if I messed something up in your name or missed your mock draft. So we got a part 2 coming, though, with the rest of the teams. One for every single team here, of course, or at least one for every single team. But that's going to do it for this one. Please like, comment, check out our videos. We're going to be live day 1 of the NFL draft. You must follow that Twitter. Absolutely must follow. Link down below. That's going to do it for this one. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.